lifetime of decisions, and what is there to show? A few years been and gone, perhaps a few years left to go. Well, there's a difference between living and discovering the truth. I've done too much of the former, it's been a quite protracted youth. But when it comes down to the latter, I'm an infant, nothing more. I'm finding that's a matter for my soul, not mind or body to explore. Don't decide, the voice says. Don't decide, make no choices. Don't decide, and you'll finally get it right. But wait, I say that's counter to everything I've ever learned. I'm supposed to be ambitious, I'm supposed to always yearn. I thought every day I'm meant to climb a little higher than before, to be just a little better known, to own a little more. But if that's all smoke and mirrors, what am I then gonna do? What's the next move I should make? What's the next path I'm supposed to choose? Don't decide, the voice says. Don't decide, make no choices. Don't decide, and you'll finally get it right. Doesn't make no sense at all. It's a deceptively simple call. And when I'm holding nothing, only then I'll have it all. I guess I'll say, maybe it isn't up to me. Don't decide. Voice says, don't decide, make no choices. Don't decide, and you'll finally get it right. Don't decide, the voice says. Don't decide, make no choices. Don't decide, you're gonna be alright. Thank you all for joining us for our Sunday service. We have a really beautiful service today, and we have Jason and Marina joining us to speak. So I'm going to turn it over to them now.
Thank you, Eric. I don't know if my music ears that I don't have just came today, but like so beautiful listening to that version of it or something. It's like I never heard it before. Yeah, very touching. I feel this mystical feeling actually, like we have a lot to share today with you all, and we have our whole church here with us. They've come from Japan, literally came from Japan, or visiting. And yeah, at the same time, we actually have a very deep topic to go into. We had a few names, something like from specialness to love, going beyond the lie, and we'll introduce you to a new song that Eric wrote. You might want to dance when it comes on, but we'll see when that comes in. But yeah, you've had like it's been an honor for me to watch Marina, because she this week again had to almost reconfirm like what it is that God is calling me to, and say yes to God. And she just had this really deep insight last night about how the whole week played out so beautifully as kind of like a mini journey within the bigger journey that maybe fresh in your mind you want to share with us?
Yes. Yes, like 2 weeks ago. Well, you feel like it started 2 weeks ago, but I was in a conversation with David, and he was just sharing context and ideas. And okay. And when he was just talking to me, in my heart, my heart was saying yes, 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 yes. But there was no specific question, but my heart was saying yes. And then I had a conversation with you, and then I started crying. And I just remember feeling like I am just feeling yes. And I don't know what I'm saying yes to. But then I started, yeah, for a few days, I just started crying, and I felt like I was letting go, not knowing what I was letting go of, except my personality self. But I was having this strength in my, like I could feel all this strength in an energy in this area, and this power and this strong yes building up in my heart and in my soul. And then we had the church service with Laverne, and then she was posing this question: is anything that God is calling you to? Is he asking this like something that is waiting for your yes? And in that church service, I was just thinking, you already have my yes. You can have my yes with no exception. I'm laying down my right to second guessing. I was like, yes, but I didn't know what I was saying specifically yes to, except that I had a yes in my soul. And then I had the thought, oh, maybe it would be good to do the service with Jason. But I was like, I have no clue what we will be speaking of. But I just shared the idea with Jason. Jason, I don't know, I just have this thought. Maybe we could do the service together, but I have no idea what we anything else. And he said, okay, let's just see, let's talk about it in the afternoon. And then it was like, then it hit. Like, because we were like, oh yeah, let's just talk about it in the afternoon. And then it was like, you were gone and I was gone all afternoon, because yeah, we were just swept up in such a swirl of communication. And then, yeah, like, and then we didn't connect. And then we were like, yeah, I don't know if we can connect about that church service. I was like, no, there's so much happening. And my heart was,
because you then got invited to kind of, we had this thing called the Trinity here, where people were making decisions and supporting the whole ministry. And because 75% of the people are going up to the States, and you're running mystery school, and Lisa was stepping in to support with you, there was a call for even more for you to kind of take over in a way from the Trinity with Deanie. And so all of a sudden all the properties came into awareness.
yes.
And so you got very, very busy. So we forgot about the church service.
Yes. Well, this idea came, well, yeah, my heart was opening up, and then Lisa reaches out to me and then shares this idea. And I was like, oh my God, yes! This one was the yes for, like it was already, it was not a decision. It was not a decision I had to make. It was laid out in front of me, and it was just, am I willing to say yes to what's laid out in front of me? Like the song said, don't decide and make no choices. I don't think it was a choice. I think there was a deep calling, a yes to God, and in that the means are given. And would you just say yes to this? And so it was unequivocal. I was like, yes. But yeah, there.
That was it. Lisa said it's like you're giving birth, because there's nothing in you that's saying no. You're just saying yes to whatever comes your way. You didn't know how you were going to do it. You just said yes completely. And we actually didn't know if we were going to do the service. So we said, let's rejoin again. But then, I don't know, something came in. We felt like, yeah, let's go for it. We didn't know if we'd even have time, mostly you. And then that's when things really hit.
Yes. I've been flying all week and there was so much communication and there was so much going on that I just laughed because it was like, it felt so impossible, the amount of communications and everything, like my mind was being stretched so much, like with all of the relationships coming in, like, because it felt like I was seeing the mystery school in a certain way, but it like I was being invited to remove all limits and for my mind to open up and for my heart to open up, to give answer to the call of my heart for unconditional, uncompromising love everyone. But yeah, God, like it's like put God first. That is first, like love God above all else. Like that's the first commandment, love God above all else. Put your purpose first, and then the second one is love your neighbor as yourself, or love your brothers like I have loved you. But always remembering what the purpose is first, and then you open up to this unconditional love. But I felt like that was the invitation with the mystery school and Mexico and what was given to me. It's like the purpose underneath is remembering God and remembering his love, and these are the means. And yeah, you know, you will go there with all of your brothers and with all of your sisters, not just by yourself. And are you willing to let everything and everyone into your heart? And I felt like that was my yes. And I was so joyful over those first periods of days, although yeah, I was so joyful. I was stretched, my mind was stretched, my heart was being stretched. And then yeah, I feel like I was lifted up into heaven, like, but then yes. And it was like going high, 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 and then it's like, and descent. And I was like, oh my God, what's happening? And then I was like, Jason, I don't know if I can do this church service. This is horrible. Like, yeah, like I see no end to this. Like, that's the worst idea, the most terrible idea. And then you're like, I think we need to do the church service. And then it was like saying yes again and committing to that yes, and then not knowing how it's all gonna work out, not knowing what the lesson is, but like just praying to be shown like the point of release and what the lesson was, so that I can feel my heart again and like even go higher, like let forgiveness. Let forgiveness spread my wings. That unforgiving thought, it was like, although like it felt like I was going higher, there was an unforgiving thought or like something I was holding on to, and that's what needs to like plays out, to be seen, to be let go of, and then to keep going after and after.
This is what you told me this morning. You said you told a bunch of people that were given opportunities to join with you in the mystery school and the students, that this is going to be the undoing of some major life patterns. And people can traditionally think, okay, it's going to happen in the mystery school. But your mystery school started a long time ago, and the students started a long time ago. So you had an invite for a lot of people to come in and join and say yes. And you were met with many temptations, especially the last few days, to be tempted that love was somewhere else. And actually, God was saying, no, it's in me. It's only in me. And it was kind of an honor for me to watch how so quickly the special love relationship, which can take many different forms, sometimes romantic, sometimes, you know, I want somebody to stay longer and be of support. I just want to be able to talk to this person. So many different forms, which is the song that Eric is going to get into. It really lays out. But you very quickly just kept choosing, you know, God's love, and the reflection of that was the means of the mystery school. that seemed to mean this one thing. And it's like you were in a swirl. Like certain characters would come in and say, this is your purpose. Remember, this is your purpose. And other characters would seem to reflect the temptation that, oh, but what about this? What about that? Have a little bit of pizzazz, a little bit of allure. And even some of the people that you had invited into the mystery school from the beginning in the past weeks have kind of peeled off, and are going to adventures in the world and beaches and all this stuff. And you were sharing a story to me even about Barcelona, where once you've accepted his plan, all things are given you. You don't have to personally go out and find, what would you call it? You don't have to find your whims. The whims are given, they're complete in the path.
Yeah.
I don't know if you have.
I feel like I have a lot to say. We'll see how it all comes together in my mind and comes out. But yeah, the symbology that's been coming to me over the past month, I think, is the story of Moses and how he had been called by God to free the people from Egypt and take them to the promised land. And along the way, he is faced with a lot of obstacles, and then he has to keep being aligned with God. And there's so many miracles that come. And that is what I feel the message that Jesus has been giving me, and the call of God that is coming into my mind. Like, I want to take, I want you to free you from Egypt. I want to free you from the ego, and I want to take you to the promised land. I want to take you out from specialness and into the love of God. That, and in able to get to the love of God, you have to go with all of your brothers and sisters. And I feel like the mystery school represents that to me. Like, I want to take you into the depths of the love of God. And that love is like beyond what you could ever think of it. And you have to love everyone. Like, you have to love everyone. Like, I have loved you. Like, I want you to learn to love how I want you to experience the love that I have for everything and everyone. That is my desire for you, and it's your will as mine as my will, and we are joined in that one will for you to experience the love of God. And by saying yes to the mystery school, you're saying yes to God, and you're saying yes to find that agape love, and everyone is welcome in that love. And for me, the special,
maybe with Moses, I could tell everybody. So Moses was a slave in Egypt with all the Israelites, and God spoke to him, with the burning bush and with the 10 commandments that came later after this 40 years he'll get to. And he said, I want you to take the slaves and leave. And they ended up at the beginning of the Red Sea, which is something that really affected you as well.
yes. And yes, because, well, the first part is like he's been told, like, get everyone and leave. And then the image that comes to me is like the temptation of like, oh, like it seems to be this big thing, right? Like, take everyone and like get them out of Egypt and go to the promised land, and you don't know anything but that, like, head that way. And he's like, how am I gonna do this? Like, this seems impossible. Like, and then like I feel like there could be a temptation, and this is the temptation of the ego with the special love. Like, it's like that, like, well, maybe like, could I just go back and find that one person in all of Egypt, and maybe the two of us can get out, maybe do a little house around the area and be in love together, like, and it's like you're trying to like create this little heaven in a storm of guilt, because like you cannot be truly free in that setting. you have to like be completely taken out of the whole situation. You have to be taken out of Egypt, and you cannot leave Egypt by yourself. You like to feel the freedom in the mind. You have to free all the people with you. And so like then I could see like, oh yeah, like how mighty it is, like going, like taking all of my brothers and sisters into the promised land. How mighty and glorious is that plan, and how little is like, maybe I could just find love with this one person around the area. It's like that is not gonna make you experience the freedom that you're calling for. And then I could see like the images in my mind. So like Jesus was guiding me, and I was like, yeah, you have to go back, and you have to go with everyone and include everyone in that love. And when you start going in that direction, there's so many miracles, there's so much wonder. And yeah, there seems to be obstacles that come our way. And then when those obstacles comes, it's just an opportunity to call on God so strong in my heart and in my mind and pray for a miracle, and not knowing how the sea is gonna part. It just seems impossible, but Jesus is always reminding me, don't put any limits on what I can do for you, because you won't know what I don't put any limits what I can do for you. Just keep your mind so wide open, and then that's when you experience the miracle. And there is a parting of the Red Sea. But with this whole story, also what was coming to my mind is like, even after all these miracles, after there is this parting of the Red Sea and they're all being freed, then they go, I didn't know this part. I was like, then they go into the wilderness and get lost in the desert for 40 days.
40 years.
40 years. Not 40 days. It's like, oh my God, after all of that. And then they were like, yeah, they like lacked, like I was reading about it, the teaching is that they were lacking faith, and they were lacking obedience, and then they were lost in like in the temptations of the ego. And then Jesus was like, yeah, how different is that? And like how much of a teaching can be my experience in the desert for 40 days, where I just went within, and I could see the ego's voice in my mind trying to tempt me with the whole world. You'll be the king of the world if you bow down to me. And Jesus was so uncompromising. Get away from me. I will always worship God, only God, and be of service of God. And with that, all the heavens open up, and it says that the angels descended. And then it's like, you don't have to waste time. You can go towards God right now. You don't have to be in the wilderness for 40 days trying to find out what person, or what special person, what special configuration can bring me that little bit of heaven while you're still in a storm of guilt, when you can just choose to keep going towards God.
Because we were talking about this, and when you dip down, the thing that brought you back out was this feeling of like, only the things that God gives me is real. And the purpose was the decision for mystery school. So you were met with these temptations, and you were so firm in your mind in seeing that some people had chosen those temptations and are kind of playing them out right now. And you saw that Jesus is going for the 40 days was him putting God first. And even though Satan, the ego, offered him the whole entire world, Jesus said no. But when you decide upon the form that you would seek and you want to play things out, a lot of times people will say that when they come into the community, including myself, I would think, oh, I don't know if I can let this go. I really need to play this out. I really need to see it for myself. And Jesus can work with that. He works with contrast experiences. But ultimately, that thought is really a lack of trust. And there is a way that if you give over, like you're saying, with all this energy, to something much deeper, that when God brings it into your awareness, like your Barcelona trip, the dog's trying to get out. When you give it over to God and he brings the form in, he's also giving you all of the means to face it at the same time. And like we were saying this morning, that of all the experiences we've had where we've been really joyful, like in in Spain, in Barcelona, when you were given that house and it happened to be at the beach and you loved the beach, but the beach just came in as you were embracing the purpose of the house to prepare for David's gatherings. Or, you know, for me, when I said, okay, I must be done with relationships, I'm going for God, Jesus laughed, ha ha ha, you haven't even started. But they're going to come in with you giving the purpose, but I'm going to send you the relationships that you need. You're given such a support to face that deeper stuff. Whereas when you say, well, I need to play this out, it's almost like you're going with a solo journey to go and try to face it. And then you use the terminology like, well, I'm just going to forgive. I can forgive anywhere. I can face this. Yes. But if it's not guided, it's kind of a form of the metaphysical ghost or denial. And using the terminology to really experience something of the ego. But watching you this week, it's like you've been in this swirl of literally facing the special relationship head on. And it's been an attractive thing over the past, say, months or years. There's almost been like this, can't that be part of my journey? Or when, you know? And yet you've just been totally devoted to what God would bring you. And it's almost like I can see it getting closer and closer, where it's right here. And you said, what did you say to it when the temptation comes in?
God first.
God first.
No, yes.
You saw the lie.
Yes, I did. I did. It's like it's in the purpose. I feel like when you say yes to the purpose, you accept the means, and then whatever comes is, you feel the connection and you feel the love because it's in alignment with God's plan. And if it comes from God, if it's guided, then you feel the love. But if you attach to the form, as if the form would give you that love, then you lose it. You lose the love. So if you decide upon the form that you want, you forget what the purpose is of that form. And when you were mentioning about Barcelona, it's like the same lesson within like in different scenarios, but the purpose is out front. The purpose is to find or remember God, to find the love of God. And the end of the trip in Barcelona was to have an event with David. The whole event, the end of the trip in Spain was to have an event with David in Barcelona. Or here it could be the mystery school, or here it could be this week of how it unfolded. But when I said yes to being part of the Barcelona event, I said we were traveling with Anna, and we were given one week where we didn't have any invitations to do any gatherings. And this house was given to us, and we thought, oh, okay, we can come together and use that time to prepare for the event. And when that house was given, we just got there. And then I was so happy. I was like, oh my God, it's in the beach. And I'm with my mighty companions here in the beach. And, and I was like, and we're here together fulfilling God's plan. And we're preparing for this event with David. And so everything felt so glorious because it was given to me. And I felt so much love. It was so sparkly. I was at the beach like I have never been in a beach before. And I was just like in the sun. And I was like, this is so mighty. Compared, because it had the higher purpose behind it all. We're here to fulfill God's plan together instead of like, oh, maybe I can, without the purpose and without, the backdrop seems to be that it's done an event, but it's not just an event. We are preparing our mind to remember the love of God together. And so that makes the scenario beautiful and wonderful and miraculous. And there is so much love coming our way. And then it's so much different than choosing the form. I don't know about that event. I don't know about that event, doing that event in Barcelona. That seemed to involve a lot of, if I see it in form, work. But things that need to be done in form, but it didn't feel like that. It felt so joyful. But if you look at it in form, the ego will say no, to it. Why would I do that? And then
that's what happened to you watching you this week is you've been giving your heart to a lot of the people and the students and even almost wanting, maybe some people to stay longer or to be with you through the whole process. And you've just been feeling this deep love and sharing everything. And then when they say no or something, you could see how the ego would attach the love to the form, and then you'd have to let go. And then more love would come in. And it was just happening quicker and quicker. The temptation to see love in form. And I thought this could be a good place, if you're good with it, to go to the song.
Yes, but let me rub the feeling and the thought. Let me rub the
Very hard.
because it's the same lesson in different, like it's the same lesson, but it just looks different.
Yeah.
Because it's so different. Like because the ego, it's a lie. Like because the ego says why would you do all of that if you could just have the beach? And it's like, yes, but that's the lie, because the beach without the purpose means nothing. Is nothing. Like the beach, the form in itself. What made it so glorious in the moment is that what it was given to you. And then the same thing with the mystery school and the relationships. It's like you feel all this love because they're being given to you and you're saying yes to them. And that's where the love is. But it's not on the form, and the figures will come and go. But it's only, I suffer only when I attach the love to the form. And that is what needed to be let go of again and again. Is the love is real. The love is there. The love is within you. And that is everything. But like anytime that the ego says, oh, beautiful, you feel the love, and then it's this configuration, this person, this setting, then the spirit is so kind because he shows me right away, when I experience these deep moments of love, right away, if I, in my mind, unconsciously, I make an association or I have an expectation or I attach to it in some way, the spirit brings a scenario just to show me where that attachment was, to let it go. And it's like that process of letting go seems to be painful to the ego, but then you arise. And it's so expansive, and that's where you can say it was all a lie. Like you were lying to me, telling me that the joy and the love was in the form. That's a lie. The love and the joy and the peace is in fulfilling God's plan and in His purpose and putting him first and letting go of all of the obstacles. Yeah. Like, and you don't even know how that Red Sea is gonna part, but you just pray and then it parts and then the light comes in, the sun is shining, and you were like, oh my God, all glory to God. So we tell the ego that's a lie, and then we say yes to God.
Yeah. We were in that experience. We were in this like, it's a lie, and then now can I go through?
Yeah.
Okay. So I had sent this song to Eric a few days ago called Liar, I think, by this guy named Jelly Roll, who I don't know if that's his real name, but it's his stage name. But anyways, it's just really passionate song where he's talking. He actually, I think he was a Christian, and he got into alcohol and drugs and just completely got lost, but somehow just started singing his way out. And now he was, I think, at the Super Bowl with one of the, forget who did the main Super Bowl. Nobody knows. Kendrick Lamar. Yeah, I don't know if he was there with it, but he was there singing this song, one of these songs, and he's got so much passion. So I sent it to Eric, and he spent all night rewriting the lyrics to fit the lies that we've been facing over the past few days and that we face in our community on the journey. The lies that he was facing was whiskey and pop a pill and things like that. But we had a lot of fun writing the song, and Eric had this passion. So he's going to sing us our version of Liar, and then we'll keep going with this topic.
I let you drive around my mind. I can't count the times you made me feel like I'm nothing. Played me like a fool, like a fool. Saying find a special body, make a special deal. Get what you can get here, heaven isn't real. You will not escape this world, it's your only home. But now I know you ain't nothing but a liar. Yeah, I walked right out the fire. Yeah, you try to keep me down, try to put me underground, but I'm only going higher. You try to pin my head in my bed when I'm dreaming. You try to be my friend, but you're blowing smoke. Oh, and now I ain't scared of telling you where you can go, 'cause I know you're nothing but a liar. You burned me one too many times, like a devil in disguise, hiding your true colors. You're making me blind, deceiving my mind, saying find a special body, make a special deal. Get what you can get here, 'cause heaven isn't real. You will not escape this world, it's your only home. But I know you ain't nothing but a liar. Yeah, I walked right out the fire. Yeah, you try to keep me down, try to put me underground, but I'm only going higher. Can hear you in my head, in my bed when I'm dreaming. You try to be my friend, but you're blowing smoke. Oh, and now I ain't scared of telling you where you can go, 'cause I know you're nothing but a liar. So now I'm turning to the truth. Oh God, I'll follow you. Yeah, I walk right through the fire. God, I know you'll take me higher. The ego tried to take me down, tried to put me underground, but I'm only going higher. God, I can feel you in my mind, in my heart, while I'm dreaming. You remind me who I am, and I am believing. Oh, and now I ain't scared of letting go of my ego, 'cause I know it's nothing but a liar.
Isn't that a catchy song? I told my brother, biological brother, and we're going to play that. He's like, I listen to that every day.
Yeah, that song also reminds me of Revolver, like that scene in the elevator. So powerful. Like he has to be so focused, and the ego comes with all of his its artillery.
Artillery.
Like all of the lies, like all that you can get, or all the attack, and he has to be so firm in his mind, like go within, be so uncompromising, like he's set on his way, and then the ego dissolves, like you were nothing but a liar. Yeah.
I said to Eric, maybe the last two lines, maybe we could make them go a little higher, you know, like find the comforter. He's like, no, I gotta, this is what's real for me. I gotta sing with passion. And Marina's like, yeah, sometimes you just gotta say no to the ego, you know, like they're totally in sync with this song.
Like see what it is,
Yeah.
so that you can see it right up, and then you can choose the spirit, and you can choose the truth, and you can choose real love. So yeah, sometimes you just have to call it for what it is and see it, and if not, it just like it's a disguise. It feels like you're in a fog and you can't see and you don't understand what is going on or why you don't feel so good. But it does it feels nice, but I don't feel so vibrant.
Yeah.
And it's like it's because you're being lured, and that's why like you're like foggy and you're not like you can't see, and then it's like see it for what it is, so that you can choose and then like shine it out, like shine it through.
Yeah. Maybe I can read this now then.
Yes, that's perfect.
So this is from Jesus. Every illusion is one of fear, whatever form it takes. So in that song, it's get a special body,
Make a special deal.
make a special deal,
Get what you can get.
get what you can get.
Because heaven isn't real.
Because heaven isn't real. Those like 3 things you could try to get, because somewhere, the ego is telling you that heaven is not real. So try to make the most of this world. Eat, drink, and die, right? That's the thing.
Be merry.
Eat, drink, be merry, and die. Yeah. Gotta put that one in there. If you seek love outside yourself, you can be certain that you perceive hatred within. Isn't that a powerful line when you think about it? If you seek love outside yourself, you can be certain that you perceive hatred within. And we were talking about that because the temptation of the special relationship is actually in the future. All of these temptations, grab a whiskey, get some more money. Whiskey's not in your song, but everything is always like, if I do this, then I'll be happy. So when you start to notice, like David would say, time is underneath everything. When you start to see that all of the things the ego offer you is in the future and it's a getting. Wow, the commonality is it's all in the future. It's all in the future. But here, hey buddy, here it's now. Everything the Spirit's offering us is now. And it's a what? Like the mystery school, it's a giving. You're saying yes to the mystery school. You want to give to everyone that's coming. And people that come here, we invite them into that giving. That's the thing. A lot of times they want to come and get something. And it's like, well, sure, thanks for letting that up. But in the end, you're only going to be happy if you're giving.
Yes, 100%.
Yet peace will never come from this illusion of love, but only from its reality. Recognize this for it's true. And truth must be recognized if it is to be distinguished from illusion. That's why we're saying, see the lie. The special love relationship is an attempt to bring love into separation. And as such, it is nothing more than an attempt to bring love into fear and make it real in fear. So because love is unrecognized, we try to make it real in ways that the ego recognizes. Got this little puppy here.
Deborah, can you help?
In fundamental violation of love's one condition, the special love relationship would accomplish the impossible. How but in illusion could this be done? And this is the line we love this morning. It is essential that we look very closely at exactly what it is you think you can do to solve the dilemma which seems very real to you, but which does not exist. You have come close to truth, and only this stands between you and the bridge that leads you into it. You were going to say something about that line?
Yes. Because when you read that this morning, I was like, that's exactly what I was reading, but it's in the lesson of today. Salvation comes from my one self. Salvation comes from the Spirit. And in the lesson of today, it said, problems that have no meaning cannot be resolved within the framework they are set. You think you have relationship problems, or you think you have any kind of problem, and you're trying to resolve it in that framework. It's like like it's the ego alluring you, like, look at all these thoughts, like you could do this, or you could do that, or you could solve it here. And it's like the image that was coming this morning is revolver, like the ego presenting like all of these thoughts, and we are getting lost on those thoughts, trying to solve them there. And the solution is not in those thoughts. You have to go deeper within to find the real answer. And so then what Jesus says is, waste no more time on this. You like this, what you were just saying, like the future, like putting things on the future. Don't be content for future happiness, for it is not your just reward, for you have cause for freedom now. Don't waste any time. You can choose now. And then who can resolve the senseless conflicts which a dream presents? Like all of it is senseless. Like trying to get lost, trying to solve the problem in the dream, it doesn't make any sense. What could the resolution mean in truth? Like you can try to solve the problem in the form, but in truth, it doesn't mean anything. It's still a dream. And then what purpose could it serve? What is it for? What is it for? Salvation cannot make illusions real. You cannot find salvation in the illusions. Like you cannot find love in form. Only salvation comes from your one self. And then he says, salvation cannot make illusions real, nor solve a problem that does not exist. And that's exactly what Jesus was saying to you, Jason, in that there's like you're that don't try to solve a problem that does not exist. Like don't try to solve the problems in the illusions. Like you're trying to find love in a form, and you think that finding a form is where the love will come, and that is not the real problem. Like the real problem is that you are seeking for love outside yourself, and it will fail, and you will weep each time the idol falls. So now you have to find it within yourself, and it's only going to be found if you say yes to your purpose, if you say yes to God, and you accept the means that are given you and the relationships that are given you. The only reason you felt love, maybe like for a certain person at a certain time, it was because it was given in the moment to you by the Spirit. And then the Spirit is calling you to something else. And then you can only find that love again within yourself when you just say yes to the means and the relationships in the moment. Don't get caught up in the illusions. And I feel like that was the lesson for me this week, is the love is in the purpose, and the love is like Jesus is bringing me the relationships, and he's definitely opening myself up to all of the relationships. But don't attach to the form. Like don't attach to it and don't reject it. Just let it go, and then you can love. Like love like I have loved you. Love with unconditional love, and that is what you want.
It's like you were given so many, and they come in, and then there's an expectation. You're like, thank you, let it pass through. They try to leave. Okay, I let you leave. But every time was a letting go of all of it. It was amazing to watch. Like,
It is stretching me.
but just to see that it's possible, like they say the ego's most supposed to gift is the special relationship, but to see it play out in front of our eyes, and the choice is right there. It isn't that tricky. And with like I want to say, with mighty companions, with support, with your openness, like your simplicity, purity, it's like the mind just can go right into the truth so quickly, and the special relationship can be laid aside. You really are a demonstration. This does not need to be hard or difficult or light. It's really quick, actually. 24 hours later, you're on fire. It's like, that's what's underneath all this, and it's really beautiful. So, yeah, thank you. completely. I think we can go to our last song then, which is the perfect ending to all of this. It's basically, there's nothing to chase or something.
Yeah.
This song is called If the Race is Over. What do I do if I'm not chasing anything? What do I do if I've got everything that I need? It's a question that no one prepared me to answer. Where do I go if I'm right where I'm supposed to be? Where do I go if wherever I am home? It's a question I'm presently wanting to answer. If the usual way doesn't work for me now, it's a void I know nothing about. What if the race is over and we all automatically win? What if the game is ended long before it even begins? What if the test has been taken and we're all passing again and again? If the race is over, what then? What do I say if it's all perfect anyway? What do I say if I'm not here to change anyone? It's a question I truly don't know how to answer. How do I live if my life is eternity? How do I live if I'm no longer afraid to die? It's a mystery, no one can give me an answer. If the usual way doesn't work anymore, there's no map for what life has in store. What if the race is over and we all automatically win? What if the game is ended long before it even begins? What if the test has been taken and we're all passing again and again? If the race is over, what then?
What is the purpose of time here on earth? How do I now define my death and birth? For that matter, what is my life really worth in the end? What's mine to give? What's mine to receive? Whom do I worship? What do I believe? Seems every answer comes right back to me in the end.
What if the race is over and we all automatically win? What if the game is ended long before it even begins? What if the test has been taken and we're all passing again and again? If the race is over, we're all born victorious. If the race is over, what then? Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Marina and Jason. See you next week.